Hello world, it's Mike White with 143 Vinyl. So today I'm going to help you learn how to design SVGs that have inspirational quotes and typography. And we're going to do it with Microsoft Copilot. So I started out just asking Copilot to write some inspirational quotes. And it wrote these, and I was, happy with these, but they're a little bit long. And so I asked it to write some shorter ones, and it did. And I found this one, be the change you wish to see. And so I Googled it and found out that it is a quote from Mahatma Gandhi, and it was in a 1913 journal article. I don't think he's going to sue me. Hopefully he's not. Could turn out that somebody watches this video and instantly sues me, but I am going to try to use this to quote in my design. So I've gone to a new instance of Copilot, and I've asked it to design a typography of the words, be the change you wish to see, and I put quotes around the quote, and then I told it I wanted strong, crisp, bold black lines against a white background in a vector art style, and to incorporate shapes of flowers and butterflies. Now, I'm not happy with any of these. I just don't like them, and they look like they'd be very difficult for me to fix. Of these, probably this one is the best, down here in this right corner. But I'm just going to choose new topic. Now, I am paying for Copilot, so I'm getting these landscape style designs, but I did this for quite a while before I started paying for Copilot. I just decided it would save me some time, and I started running out of boost. So you can get started doing this completely for free. So I'm just going to change it to creative. There's just setting these different settings up here will just kind of, sometimes give you a different seed. I've had good success with all of them. So I'm just going to let it design another one. And as you notice, I hit new topic before I did this. I just want to start over. I didn't like any of the direction that it was going before. So I decided, hey, let's just start over. And that's why when I hit the new topic button, if I really like the direction it's going with something, I'll stay in that vein. Ooh, I like this one. Be the change you wish to see. Yeah, I like that. That's nice and clean. And it's bold. And of course, this is just personal taste, whatever you like. This one's very over the top, and I do really like that one. But let's go with this one because it looks like it'll be easier for this tutorial. Easier to fix up and make it what I want. Okay, so here we have be the change. Yeah, I'm just analyzing this a little bit more. You wish to see. Yep. Definitely see some issues with it, but we can fix those. So we'll just download this and we will start to clean it up. All right. Okay, so first things first, we're going to open this up with Photoshop, and we're going to try to square this off. I really want to be perfect on this part, so I want to come in, very close to the edge. I just really like to start out with things nice and centered. So I'm being, pretty particular and I'm eyeballing it. I mean, you can get out a ruler and measure. You've got your ruler tool in Photoshop, so you could, try to latch on a guideline to the edge. Look at me doing it because I know that it's possible. And I'm just putting a guideline right on the furthest edge, and we'll scan in with my eyes up and down. Looks like that's it. And then you can measure, and now that I've done that, I can see that it's off. So, I'm going to take my ruler tool, and I'll put another guideline right on the actual edge. And then you can just measure in between these. So I'm going to hold shift and it's going to latch to it. And it's telling me that its width is 19.88 on this side. And on this side it's 21.12. So yeah, being pretty picky there. I think we can deal with a 2 pixel difference probably, but we're gonna fix it. So we're gonna do image canvas size, and I'm going to adjust the width. I'm going to anchor it on this side, and I just need to go down 2, -2. Okay, and then I'm going to move this guideline, and then I'm going to measure again just to show you what I've done here. Let's get my ruler back. So now I'm at 19.88. And on this side, I'm at 19.12. So within 1 pixel tolerance is good enough even for a perfectionist like me. All right, awesome. So let's just export this. We're going to export it as a PNG. And I'm going to name it. So we're going to call it Be the Change You Wish to See. And we're going to call it Original, because we need to get this bigger. Okay, so now I'm just going to close everything that I've got. And now I've popped over to Topaz Gigapixel AI. So we're going to use Topaz to upscale this. We'll just bring that in. And this right-hand side is what we're seeing. And I've got this set to 6x. So it's taken what was an 851 by 913 after I cropped it to 5106 by 5478. So that's really big. And I'm just going to keep it on Art and CG, I believe, because I'm going to get smoother lines with Art and CG. And since the goal is to make this a vector image, that's what I'm going to do. So we'll save that. So it's just outputting that file. And then we're going to go find that file, and it should be in my designs folder here. It's probably at the top, and it's the one that's labeled with the topaz on it. Okay, so I'm just going to open that with Photoshop. Okay, and so sometimes at this stage I'll go find other shapes that I'm interested in using in my design, and I will redo things like the butterfly. I'm not super happy with that. Whatever this bug is right here, it doesn't look like a very pretty butterfly. And like these flowers, they have extra petals. But I'm going to just go after broad strokes in this tutorial, just because, to save time and show you, how you can get something fairly quickly that's usable. Okay, so the glaring problems. You've got to be able to spell to do this, right? The glaring problems are obviously like these 2 A's, and then it says yo. I'm also not real happy with how much this takes away from the wording. Also, this E has got some extra stuff going on here, but overall, I think it's very pretty. So let's just jump right into fixing up some of these problems. So I'm just going to grab a brush. And I would do Control-Shift-N, and I'll just draw on that layer. And then I'm going to duplicate this original, and I'm just going to convert it to a smart object. That'll keep it from being changed in any way. And then I'll just hide it, and that way that's just down there. This is my original, so that I can always go back to it if I do something that I'm not proud of. Okay, and then I've just got a brush. So we're just going to start cleaning up parts of this. I'm going to select this layer, and we'll just call this adjustments. I'm usually not this careful, but I'm trying to spread good habits. Okay, and I've got a brush, and it's on black right now. So first things first, let's kind of do some adjustments. I'm going to do adjustments, and we'll just do levels. Okay, sorry. We'll do it on this one. Image adjustments, levels. And I'm just going to bring in the black and bring in the white. And that's just going to intensify everything. And I didn't even see a change, but it's just when I'm designing for an SVG, that's one of the first things I usually do, is just kind of clear up some of the, kind of make sure things are pure black or purer black. And you can see I just painted over that little area right there. You can draw with a, like this. So I'm just going to draw with my lasso tool. I'm just going to come in here and just let it be. I said that to myself because, you know, I get real particular and take way too much time with this, but I'm just going to kind of rush through because I'm doing a tutorial. So just going to draw that in, clean that up, and then, you know, same thing. You know, if you want to be more precise, you could use your pen tool and just come in here, and, you know, we just want to finish this off. So we've got a real nice edge here, but we want it to end. So I'm just going to take this and kind of follow that edge, and then we'll end it, say, right here. And I'm not proud of where that landed, so I'm just going to click it right here. And then we'll take this, oops, and we'll go on up here. It's always weird drawing in real time, you know. It's just kind of a personal process. And, you know, I guess I'll just alleviate my the pressure by just saying, you know, I take a lot more time with this usually than what I'm showing you. And I'm just going to show you kind of a quick way to get it done. So I could spend hours adjusting one of these curves, and I'm just going to let this go. I think I'm just talking to myself there. All right, and then I'm just going to select that shape, and then I'll hide it. And I'll go back to my brush tool. I'm just hitting the brush key. I'm hitting B. I'm hitting the B key, which is for brush. We'll just draw that in, and then I'm just going to do Control-Shift-I, and then I'm holding Alt and clicking so that I can get rid. Oh, I did too much there. So that I can just paint over this part. All right. You know, and there's just, like I said, I mean, I can spend hours doing this. I mean, you know, when you're using AI, you've just got to take over and, you know, make it your design. I mean, you know, the AI is a great starting point, and, you know, I mean, gosh, it makes me so much faster than I used to be at doing stuff like this because I've got a good starting point. But in the end, it is your art, and you have to, you know, take responsibility for it. So I'll give you an example of how to do that. All right, so let's just look at this this flower right here. So I've just selected the elliptical marquee tool, and we're gonna hold Shift, which is, no, actually, yeah, I'm gonna hold Shift, okay? And that's gonna make that circle, you know, perfect, okay? And I don't know where it went. I'm gonna hit Control D, deselect, because I must have had something already going. So I'm just gonna make a perfect circle. I'm gonna do Select, Transform Selection, and I'll put it right in the middle of this flower. All right. Yep. In fact, it looks like I can just use my arrow keys to adjust that, so that's good. And then I'm going to do Control-Shift-I, and then I'll select around the outside. And then I'm going to do B. You know, grab my tool again, and I'm just going to paint, not white, let's get black. And I'm going to paint up to that circle, and I'm just using that as a mask to help me make a nice circle. I'm just going to fill these in. Okay, and then I'm going to Control-Shift-I again. That'll keep me from drawing in the circle. And I'm going to adjust my brush down to a small size. And then I'm going to pick white. And we'll just make these. I'm going to hold, I'm clicking once in here, and then I'm holding Shift. And I have no idea why that didn't work. Control-Shift-I, sorry, I still needed to be on the outside. There we go. So we'll just start, you could start in the center if you want to be super precise. And then, you know, I'm not happy with that size, so I'm just using the bracket keys to adjust my brush down. And we'll just make some little. See, here comes the perfectionist, you know, spending way too much time. Sorry about that. But we'll make some little, more precise cuts into this little flower or whatever it is. So I know that's a really small detail, but that's how we, that's how we take control of the design. That like this, I would definitely redraw this shape. I mean, normally. I'm gonna let it go. All right, and then let's keep seeing what we can do here. We're looking for things that are not going to draw well as an SVG. So I'm hitting Control D to deselect, and I'm increasing my brush size. And we're just going to, by draw well, I mean cut well. If people are going to use a Cricut or, any kind of cutting machine like the StarCraft Solo, I want them to be able to cut this easily. So these little tiny, variations here are not going to cut well. So for something like this, because it's a curve, I'm going to want to, try to follow that curve. But I also have to end it. I'm going to Control Z that placement. Let's just start up here. Oh, I kind of see what I want to do here. We're just going to follow what's there. And we'll end that right here. And then we'll take this around and down. Anybody that's ever drawn curves, you know how long you can spend doing this, but you just let it go when you're doing tutorials, Mike. Alright, so I'll just end that off like that. I'm going to select it. And then we're going to grab and put this down. I'm just kind of building some shapes. In fact, I'll go ahead and group that, and I'll call this shapes. Just in case I keep making more. It won't junk up my layers. And then we're just going to paint all of this out. Kind of end that off there. Yep. And then we're going to select that shape again. Control Shift I. And we'll paint some white around the outside just to make sure there's no mess there. Oops. Go around this part of it, not get into that part. Alright, and then we see this little edge right here, and there's many ways to deal with that. And we could go in and adjust our curve, or we could try to just nail it like this. So again, I have my brush set at full hardness, and I'm just going to click here and then hold Shift and click here, and you can see how I'm just kind of painting that out. And then I can go on the other side and do the same thing. Get rid of that little bump. And I mean, I don't even know how well that's translating. I can barely see what I'm doing. All right, so that's just one way to deal with that. All right, so let's just apply some of those same principles and fix this up. I mean, we have to fix this flower right here. There's no way we can avoid it. It's not going to cut well. So let's just select that. Just make a little cut in here, clean that up. Oops, click, shift click, click, shift click. And I mean, obviously, this would be better to draw these paths. And then we will just paint out those little imperfections. Okay, and I usually do go for the small parts and then try to tackle the big parts later. I'm not sure why. It just feels right. It feels like, it's easier to deal with the big parts. Okay, so, yeah, I feel like this part of the image is distracting right in here. And, let's just take this. Well, let's kill the white. Let's kill the white. If we're going to start moving big elements around, let's deal with our problems first. Hang on. I see more problems. Let's grab our brush tool, make it small. And if you're not doing a tutorial, this is loads of fun. It's only stressful when you're on camera and you're being recorded for the entire world to see. Yeah, we just need to be intentional here. This looks unintentional. So if we're gonna have some, we can have some of these join and some not. So I'm just switching between black and white and then cleaning up the lines, doing my shift click trick, which doesn't always work. Just painting in these little imperfections. All right. Okay, so some of our big, now it's time to get rid of the white. So to do that, we're going to select with the magic wand, and we're just going to pull it off. We'll pull the black off. There's no reason to kill the white. We can just get the black. So I uncheck contiguous. I have a strong tolerance of 80. And I'm just clicking once, and that's going to select everything that's black on the entire page. Now to do this, I'm going to duplicate this layer and turn it off. I'll just put it down here in my shapes. It's kind of my junk folder. And I'll pull this down, and I'm going to merge it with this layer 1 copy. So I made a copy, I made a backup of my adjustments, and then I've merged in all my adjustments with the original, and then I've still got my backup, right here. Awesome. All right, so let's just hit Control C, and that's just going to pull everything off of this layer. And then I'm going to hit Control Shift N and Control D and Control Shift V, and then I'm going to make sure that that's 100% whites. 100% black by doing blending options, and then I'll do a color overlay and make sure it's pure black, and then I'm just going to rasterize that style. So it is black, and there's no doubt about it, and there's not going to be any edges or any problems. And I'll just show you real quick how to check for that. One way, the best way I think, is to actually change this. Let's just put a solid color of black behind the black, and then you can see there's just nothing. There's no problems. It's pure. Okay, I'll pull this down because I'll probably be using that here in a bit. All right, so now we're on this layer, and this is our design, and we really don't need this layer anymore, so I'll put it in my little shapes has become junk. That's what I should have called the folder. And I want to address this. I just feel like this is distracting. It's this big whirl, and then this is distracting from this part. Copilot's done a great job drawing this, but it could be better. So I'm just going to try to find an easy way to end this. And Mike, you're not going to do that by following the same curve. You need a new curve. So we're just going to try to end this shape. In a pretty way. Alright. I have no idea what just happened there. I alt-clicked it, and I guess that zooms in. Not Not sure what's happening. I'm just trying to shift click it to select it and it's not working. So let's try this. Maybe it's because I alt clicked it. Oh, maybe everything's selected. Nope. This is your worst nightmare when you're doing a tutorial. What's happening? Hang on. Okay, you guys, I just literally forgot how to use Photoshop. It's too much talking, not enough coffee. I was supposed to be control click on these thumbnails. So, you know, that's what happened. It's mostly muscle memory, and then sometimes you just forget how to do it. So we're just going to use an eraser tool. I'm going to go back to this design. And we're going to hit Control-Shift-I to do the inverse of this. And we're just going to eliminate all that. And that's going to hopefully help the problem that I see, which is just, you know, it's the negative space there needs to be more emphasis on the S. All right. Now we're going to grab this flower. And this is why I removed that background. Ooh, hold on. I see a problem right here. So just going to smooth this out a little more. There we go. So this is why I eliminated that background, is to make these kind of operations easy if I just want to move things. So I'm just using my lasso tool and drawing around that. And we're just going to pull this in and I'll just cover that dot. And we'll kind of make this kind of relate to that curve and hopefully to that other section. And I think that will just make more emphasis on the S. Still not real happy with the S overall. So let's get rid of this. You know, this will just start coming together, right? So let's just get rid of this. Away. We will take this and move it. We'll take this. And you know, you can do this in any application. I mean, you could do it in Inkscape. You know, really, whatever your application of choice is, whatever you're the most comfortable in. I'm really comfortable in Photoshop, and so that makes a lot of sense for me to stay in Photoshop some. Yeah, and see, this whole S just bothers me. Let's try to take it and transform it. So let's just, you know, this is the end of the. I'm just going to draw off the page where I can't see and hope that I'm getting it. So let's cut that. And remember, we always can go back if we need to. And we're just going to do Edit, Transform, and we'll grab our Warp tool. And we're just going to try to warp this up and make it look just a little bit bigger, more of a capital. I think I also want to tilt it slightly, so there's some warping I'm somewhat happy with. And I'm just going to tilt it. I want to kick it a little bit. And then we'll just clean it up. So we'll just erase that part. Yeah, the rest of this will just fill in. So we'll just grab our black and paint this connection back in here. Yeah, I mean, it's still not wonderful, but it's better. I think what would help is if I took some of these E's down. So let's grab this E. grab all of this. And I'm just looking at the parts that I want to take away or change. And I'm just going to cut this, paste it, and then I'm just going to edit transform. This one we're just going to free transform. And I'm just going to hold shift as I pull these down, and that'll just, I think, fix the problem that I have with that S. Awesome. Okay, and then let's just move some of these elements around so that they make more sense. I'm going to merge everything down. Control E, Control E. And we'll just move this, so it just feels a little more natural. And then I'm going to grab, what is it to switch the lasso to L? So good to learn the shortcuts. I'll grab some of this. And hit Control C, and then I hit Control Shift V, and I'll just bring this over here and spin it around to kind of fill that space up. Be the change you wish to see. I'm still not super happy with that S, but it's a lot better than it was. Okay. So we're making some good progress here. And we're just going to take this bottom of this E. And we're going to wipe it out. Oh, let's merge that down. Yeah. I think that's what we're going to do there. And what I'd really like to do is thicken this up so that it feels interesting. I'm struggling with decision. Did something like this. It really helps to have done a lot of things like this before. Yeah, I don't mind that, but I don't love it. Anyway, tutorial, Mike. Just get it done. Yeah, we'll let that be. I'll just rasterize. Well, I'll duplicate that shape. We'll duplicate it. And then we'll pull it down into our shapes layer. And then I'll rasterize it. And I'll merge it down. And then I can just fix it up. Yeah, let it go. I hate it. All right, I gotta fix it. Yep. We'll just paint it in. Switch to our brush tool. Just paint it in. Switch to our eraser. Just paint it out. So you're happy with it. Get it done. I like it a lot more. Awesome. And I'm just following the style of this other one over here. So, no rocket science there. Sometimes we use actual rocket science, but not today. All right, these are the jokes. Let's just pull that down. And then we're going to grab this. And then I'm going to use Alt. I'm going to hit L to go to my lasso tool, and then hit Alt and deselect that. And then we'll just move this down to be more in line, the size of the C. And that should have taken care of that. Yeah, that's what bothers me about this. It's going up. It's way better. I'm much happier with it. See myself I'm telling myself that. All right, so now we have to deal with our double A phenomenon. And so we're just going to grab, let's grab these two guys and we'll just cut them and put them on their own layer. And hopefully we'll remember those are up there. And then we'll just draw this out. Trying to decide which one of these A's I like. I think we like that one. Alright. And then we're going to take this H. Let's actually take it from about right here. I'm using Control D to deselect. All of this, and then we're just going to do edit, transform. We'll start out with just free transform. I'm going to hold shift and stretch it. Okay. And then we're going to do edit, transform, and we'll do perspective. Pull this back up to be in line. Okay. We need more of that. Edit, transform, perspective. It's gonna come up more. And then we'll do edit, transform, free transform. We'll pull it back down, holding shift to force it to shrink. Nope. Escape that. And we're going to fill it in and clean it up. Never be afraid to get in there close. I'm using that shift click technique and being super careful there. And then I'm going to do the same with an eraser. I'll heal this crack up here. Just do the fast parts that you can, and then come in and do the detail work. Alright. Need to change. Come on, change. Change with me. Yeah, I know I want that to end over here. Alright, so I've just got to bring some of this in over. It's the only option I can see here. Let's take all of this and see how we do. Actually, let's just take all of this, like I said. Let's see what happens if we cut all of this. So I'm just holding shift so that I can get these over closer. All right. And then we're going to do edit, transform, perspective again. We'll pull this down to match. I just realized that if you're not used to Photoshop, this is probably looking like magic. That's why they call it Photoshop Magic, right? All right. And then we'll do edit, transform, and we'll do warp. And we'll just pull this up to match. Don't want to get it too out of whack. But a little bit's okay. Yeah, we'll pull that up slightly. That's the thing to do, is pull that up slightly. And then we'll pull this A. We'll use that same technique. We'll just grab all of this. Almost messed up there. Just go fast on the brush. You have to be careful, and then go back and add. I'm using Alt, and I should have used Shift to add. So Shift to add that in. And then we'll just Control T that. I'm holding Shift to pull it over. And then I'm going to do that same edit, transform, perspective, and we'll pull it up slightly. And then we'll do edit, transform, warp. And we'll pull this down a bit and over a little bit. Awesome. And then we will just draw this connection in here, like nothing's ever happened. And I'm just imitating the style that I see over here. Yep, I got a bigger piece here to go for though. Let's see if we can make that look really good. And a bigger brush. Try to carve that out. Get in there. Okay. Yeah, I still see a gap. I'm still not super happy with it, but it is way better than it was. Yep. And I've got to draw this in right here. Just got to thicken it up. Okay, I see a way to fix it, or a way to fix it. Let's just cut this off real close over here. And we'll cut this off right in the middle here. And then we'll just adjust this A up and over. And just kind of fix the kerning of those two letters. And then we will fix this up like so. And we'll grab our little things that we did not forget. And we may even duplicate them and hide some of this gap that's still bothering me. All right. Be the change you wish to see. Now I'm still not happy with the way this is reading down here. So I'm just going to take all of this, including my little hyphen. And I'm going to move it. Hello. Just adjust it over so that it's reads a little better. I know that was a super small change, but it helped my brain. Boom. I think we're done. I think this thing right here is bothering me. No, that makes it look more like an E, and that's not what I want. Yeah, I don't want it at all. Let's just get rid of it. And if we're going to do that, let's get rid of this one. Yeah, actually that helps. Okay, it's all personal taste. Hopefully I've shown you the techniques. Hopefully you learned a lot from this. Sorry it's so long. It takes time to do art. It's just not something that's going to come quick, even with the AI help. And I can tell you that if I was designing something like this from scratch, I'd be working on this for hours and hours and hours. And instead I've got something that's reasonable, in about an hour. All right, sorry for the long tutorial. I hope you learned a bunch. Enjoy creating with Copilot and Photoshop. Thanks and have a great day.